You got me too, man.
John's face was like, "What?" He was like, "Wait a minute,
that's hilarious.
We doing the wrong show." John's like, "We doing the wrong show." Yo, that is hilarious to me. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, and good morning. That was I know April Fools. I was surprised waiting for somebody to say, "Man, April Fools was on the first." It didn't know, so but it was the first show since the first, so we had to do it. What up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for tuning in to a brand new live episode of Millionaire M.A.N Cave right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. Y'all know what time it is. It is time for Millionaire M.A.N Cave, 8 p.m. Eastern time on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we get into it. We talk about a little bit of this, talk about a little of that. We got a little word to the wise. We got the hot topics. We got conversation, all that good stuff that we actually talk about throughout the week. And I know we got a hell of a show tonight, so I ain't going to sit here and prolong it any further. Just make sure y'all go ahead and download the Roku app and make sure y'all subscribe to the retv Relationship Entertainment YouTube channel and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, in between time, I see my man Mike got it up already. I can't do the show without the fellas that's on the screen with me right now. So make sure y'all say what's up to them. As always, my brother from another mother. I can't even get it out tonight. Jeez Louise. My brother from another mother. Millionaire Mike is in the building with us tonight. What's going on, Mike?
Man, I'm chilling, dog. Brother from another mother. Brother from another mother. I couldn't say it. How you feeling tonight, Mike? How you feeling? I'm doing great, to be honest with you, because I'm in short sleeves. I'm outside. I mean, damn, it feels good out here. Down in Charlotte, North Carolina, I think the temp right now is still about 75. So, I'm chilling. I may need to get the sun's going down, so I may need to get a jacket halftime, but we'll see. But just being outside and it feeling warm, I'm awesome. It's my thing.
Gotcha. I see you got the moon in the background and everything. You got the Scad Dad shirt on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Represent.
Straight out of the DMV. What's going on, Mr. Reasonable? How you feeling tonight, Donnell?
All good. Chilling. You know what I'm saying? Chilling.
What's up? Chilling. All right. I ain't gonna bother the man
like since he MFing villain.
I'm about to say since he's chilling like a villain. Good night. What's good with you, John? John also out of the DMV.
Hey,
Mr. PC.
I'm having a good day, you know what I'm saying? It's Tuesday. I love this, being able to sit with you guys, have a little drink, you know what I'm saying? I come tonight with that big black energy tonight.
I thought it was about to say something completely different. John, you can keep that energy over where the hell you at. Whoa. Between you and your wife.
And you stole my intro for my show, so that was a little weird. little weird. I mean, I know the internet is open source like that, but dang. So.
Don't sue us, John. We ain't got no money over here.
He's sniper stalking you.
Please don't sue us, John. We ain't got no money over here. We were just giving a shout out to Daddy's Confessions. For those who don't know, we're just gonna turn this whole show into Daddy Confessions tonight. For those who don't know, John got his own podcast called Daddy Confessions. So make sure y'all check it out. He's actually been on quite a few new episodes lately.
Yeah, they've been dropping recently. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. So I had to do a quick April Fool's. Y'all do April Fools. Y'all, get your kids, your wife, coworkers, whatever with April Fools.
We did not do April Fools in my house this year.
Y'all usually do?
Nope.
He said this year like you do it every other year. So I was like,
nope.
You usually do it?
Nope.
Gotcha. Okay. Mike, you said y'all do?
Yeah, well, we don't do anything elaborate. We just, might say little things throughout the day to try to get somebody. I'll try to get them. My daughter doesn't understand the concept, so all day long she was doing stuff like physical stuff and being like April Fools, it like psych, like saying psych. And I'm like, what the hell?
Like it don't work.
She was doing it all day long. I was like, you just don't understand, baby. It's okay.
Y'all ain't correct her?
Well, it was just too much to try to even explain. She'll get it eventually, one year.
She'll come home crying, Daddy, such and such these, and they say April Fools. Well, baby, girl, that was the whole point of the joke. You just was on the butt end of the joke. I already know Darnell don't. That's them pagan holiday. Darnell don't celebrate them holidays. You know, he don't celebrate Christmas, April Fools, or none of them. Nah. Y'all, you do jokes, Darnell? I know Darnell was jokes in general though.
Yeah, I'm about to say he stay joking.
I was say he stay joking, stay pranking, and then pull an innocent face like, "What you talking about?"
It's just comedy. Nah, I just be, you know what I'm saying? I be chilling. Nope. I don't do them jokes.
Damn, the frogs are out. I done seen 2 frogs already.
You scared of frogs, Mike?
They coming after.
Nah, I just, I seen the movie Frogs, and I get concerned sometimes.
You ain't never seen the movie Frogs? It's a horror movie.
Nah, I ain't seen them. I ain't never seen that joint.
Horror movie.
I never watched it, but I've seen parts of it, and I was like, nope.
I mean, it's a bad horror movie. It's just like The Blob or
when did it come up?
Okay.
It was it's like late 70s or something.
Yeah. I was about to say it had to be old as all get out because I ain't never heard of that joint before. I mean, not that I've heard of every movie, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Darnell, you got the words of the wise tonight? What you got?
Boom.
Oh yeah, you ready for the
word? Darnell, you with us tonight?
No, because I was trying to figure out what my thought was. I got words to the wise. I got words to the wise. Ladies. So I get being frugal and all, but listen, ladies, if you are one to stretch everything, we not rock, man. I can't do watered down ketchup. I can't do watered down soap. What else is there, man?
Dishwasher detergent.
Oh,
dishwasher detergent.
Lotion.
I'm gonna say lotion, hand towels, or just towels in general. They be using them drinks to like paper bottle, thin.
Drives me insane, bro.
You using laundry samples. You ain't got the
Hey, but you can't front though. You can't front. I guarantee you, all y'all got a drawer in y'all house with packets of ketchup and packets of soy sauce from the store.
No ketchup.
You don't.
No ketchup.
I keep
no
soy
ketchup.
sauce. But
soy sauce, yeah. No ketchup.
I do keep soy sauce.
Barbecue Chick-fil-A sauce.
Do y'all put water in y'all ketchup or barbecue sauce?
No.
First off, I don't want the ketchup water coming out when I use the ketchup. I don't want to add no
ketchup water and mustard water. Between ketchup water and mustard water, mustard is the
throw
worst.
That food away. Throw the food away.
But listen, that's why I keep soy sauce packets, because the store soy sauce don't taste like the soy sauce packets.
You know what?
That's true.
You're getting the wrong kind.
How?
So there's
because I get Kikkoman's.
You still don't think that tastes just as good as the package? It do not
taste the same. The package drink tastes.
It ain't the same.
The package drinks do not. The package drinks taste a world better than the Kikkoman's.
You know why? You know why that is though? Is because they put all the salt and the MSG in those packets.
They must. They must.
They leave all the salt. They leave all the salt and the MSG in there in the packets for sure.
Nah, Daniel, my joint is a condiment drawer. No bull. It started out. We got a Ziploc. It's in the Ziploc. And when you put so much stuff in the joint after a while, it wound up becoming a whole drawer.
So why do y'all save it?
Yeah, you ain't using it, obviously.
Yeah.
Nah, you right.
Shit,
I mean, honestly,
I use it later.
The soy sauce don't never get.
This stuff go bad.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. So stuff at the bottom, like the ketchup at the bottom, they gotta go. Yeah, ketchup at the bottom. Yeah, ketchup and with ketchup, duck sauce, and Chinese mustard all turn colors after a while. So you gotta get rid of them drinks.
If you, who the hell use?
I ain't
Chinese
never
mustard?
Seen duck sauce. I ain't never seen duck sauce change colors, dog.
You use Chinese mustard on what?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
On my Chinese food.
On my egg rolls.
Chinese mustard, Chinese mustard is good.
It's spicy,
Look, I don't fuck with nothing that make my fucking nostrils flare up. I'm good on that.
So you never do horseradish on
nope.
prime rib?
Nope. First of all, you're not supposed to put nothing on your steaks. If you putting stuff on your steaks done wrong. Okay?
Was you about to say something else, John?
No, I'm just saying.
Because I heard it coming. I was like, well, I was waiting to see if he was going to say
it. He done already slipped up once tonight.
Hey. Oh, no, man. I don't. That stuff is disgusting. Horseradish?
Horseradish?
Yeah, and The
You're supposed to mix horseradish and ketchup and make cocktail sauce.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, I learned that. I learned that in New Orleans. I went to a restaurant in New Orleans, and I was like, "Y'all got cocktail sauce?" And they was like, "We got horseradish and ketchup. Mix it together. You got your cocktail sauce." I did it. It tastes just like cocktail sauce. It's spicy, but it tastes just like cocktail sauce.
Okay. So I want to finish my thought from earlier. Did y'all know? And I didn't know this. Did y'all know that the Matrix is the prequel to the Terminator?
Yes.
I didn't know that until like a couple weeks ago.
I did hear that.
I did hear that. Yeah.
No.
Like a couple weeks ago, I found that out. Yeah. I did not know that prior to.
It's a whole conspiracy theory of it, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not really. But
I mean, they kind of thought of it as a like when they were thinking of the whole. Well, this is the thing. Is that none of it was written by the Wachowski brothers. Okay. Whoever wrote Terminator, whoever wrote and the Wachowski brothers, they apparently stole this whole idea from a black woman.
I heard that.
It's all stolen from a black woman, and so her books were plagiarized essentially, and they made these stories. Her stories came out way before either one of those movies or the poems. I mean, not poems, but what are they called? The damn.
What was Mike doing?
He trying to hold the moon.
Yeah, he's trying to hold the moon. But I'm like, he just out of the blue. He just
full moon craziness, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
The full moon night. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Like it's a stolen story from a black woman.
What are you holding, Mike?
These nuts.
That's what it looked like. He was cupping them.
y'all look, y'all already don't start. We have to go into doing stuff like this. You gotta start putting up the damn warning signs. So
people say no shame in your game.
Y'all early.
Ain't no shame in my game. I cut my nuts.
Y'all whoop.
All righty then. So thanks, Mike, for sending us to commercial, sir.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demeter Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demeter Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?
Tune in to Millionaire M.A.N on Your Relationship Entertainment Television, Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Tuesday Tuesdays, 8 p.m. right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, y'all. If you're on Facebook, make sure you share this with your family. Make sure you share it with your friends. Let everybody know Millionaire Man Cave is on Relationship Entertainment Television, better known as RETV. Or if you're on YouTube, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button so that way you're notified each and every time a brand new episode of Millionaire Man Cave or any other shows that come on Relationship Entertainment Television comes on. Y'all get notified each and every time a brand new episode comes on when you're on actual YouTube. So make sure I hit the subscribe button and the bell so that way you're notified, all that good stuff. But either way, share it, subscribe. Show your support. That's all I ask. Show your support, people. Show your support. Hey, John, we got a lot of stuff to be talking about tonight. We got hot topics. We got the whole topic of being your kid's worst enemy, all that good stuff. But what we got going on tonight, John?
Yo, first thing I want to talk about. What's up, Toya? First thing I want to talk about is this whole thing with Jonathan Majors. Y'all heard the update? Okay, so last week we started this conversation.
I was about to say, we talked about this last week. What happened?
We did.
Okay,
so
update.
So apparently, you know, it came out since last time we were on air that his girlfriend, who was
of the Caucasian persuasion,
made it up. Like it wasn't all. It wasn't
the whole thing.
I mean, you know.
Well, he called the police, and supposedly he called the police, and she changed the story. That was reported earlier.
Yeah, but we wasn't on the air for that one. We ain't talk about that last week.
Yeah, and then I remember she also sent him a text message like right after he had gotten out of jail from being locked up by the police or whatever, saying, you know, hey, it wasn't that bad. You know, I just told them X, Y, and Z.
So this all remember, yeah. So this is hard to believe because we started this conversation last week, but this all transpired since last week we were on the air. So like, she really put him in a bad place to the point where he had like ads and stuff that he was featured in got pulled. And all the stuff.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, my wife was telling me.
Did y'all realize? I don't know if y'all realize this. Creed 3 is already on demand.
Yes.
Yeah, I just saw that over the weekend.
Now that shit got to be
I haven't watched it yet.
It's got to be a record because I swear the movie was
just came out like 3 weeks ago.
Right. It did, and for a movie of that caliber to already be digital already. That's kind of, and I didn't think it was a bad movie, other than the fact. Okay, so answer me this: y'all saw? Has anybody seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Nobody.
You know, I haven't seen it yet.
And it's nothing I'm gonna spoil. I just got a question about from anybody who's seen it, anybody watching who's seen it. I got this one question. Just answer this one question. When they're doing sign language, because you know, y'all know, it's no secret that you know his daughter or whatever. Yeah, his daughter, you know, she does sign language. She's deaf, and his wife as well.
The daughter deaf too? I don't think
the daughter's deaf.
Okay,
and at one point in time, you know, his wife was or whatever. But anyway, so they do sign language quite a bit in the movie. Because I watched the digital streaming version, there was no closed captions at the bottom. So unless they actually said what they were signing, I had no clue what the hell they were signing. So was that in the actual movie, or was that just in the version? I was about to say, or was that just in the version that I happened to see? Yes, John, you're right. That's all I want to know.
I get the same situation when I'm watching movies through those other means. And they're speaking a foreign language, and I don't see the captions.
Yo, I watch.
They might have a couple lines.
Yeah, I just watched Avatar, the new Avatar movie, the recent Avatar movie.
Yeah, I seen that one too.
I was worried that joint was going to be in.
No, but y'all seen Tetris? Y'all, it's Apple drink called Tetris. Tetris is actually a decent movie, but in Tetris they speak Japanese and Russian, and you have no clue what they're saying because there is no caption.
So Creed 3 is on demand, but it ain't free.
No, it's not free. But the fact that it's already movies in the movie theater don't usually go on demand that quickly.
Hey, Darnell. Yes,
I usually wait for it to go digital. I usually wait for it to go digital before I try to pull it up on cinema. And
it's free. It's free, Darnell. You just gotta know. You just gotta know how to get it, but it's free.
Yeah, but that's not on demand, Ty.
But it is on demand.
I pulled it up.
It is on demand.
It was demanded when I demanded it. I pulled it up.
No, because there was a commercial that I saw this weekend. I did see the commercial this weekend. That is
you need a different disclaimer.
Right, y'all about to get locked up. I don't know what y'all doing. Yeah.
Bootleg Man Cave. Hey, while you bullshitting, Man Cave might be on cinema.
Right. But
on demand.
But it is on demand. Like on my Google TV, it literally pops up as something you can buy. So and the same thing on Prime, on Amazon Video, you can buy it as well. So
so it's on demand.
Mm-hmm. But as soon as stuff go on demand, you can find it on demand.
Right, without it being bootleg. I'll say that.
First and foremost, y'all gonna stop saying on demand.
Oh
yes.
Oh yeah.
It's on. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. You can watch it whenever you want to.
Yes. It is rent or buy. You can rent or buy it.
It's rent or own.
Rent or own. Yeah, rent or own. So yes, that is true. But yeah, man, that whole thing, I honestly think the fact that it is rent or own at this point has something to do with the Jonathan Majors situation. I think they were worried about.
You think so?
I think they were worried about the fact that it was going to have some backlash. It was going to have long, he wasn't going to make no money off the movie because he was in it. And so, I mean, literally, Jonathan Major had 2 major motion pictures out at the same time.
Ant-Man and Creed, right?
Creed, yeah.
Is Ant-Man on demand?
No, because Disney don't play that. Disney don't care. Now, what Disney might do, and this is what I'm really worried about, is like they might not let this nigga be back in any shows. He might not and for him to get pulled will be crazy because
hope
he's like the next level of the Marvel universe right now. Like he's across all of that. And so this whole thing, like, I don't know if this woman, I'm not even gonna like focus on the fact that she's a white woman, but I think sometimes situations arise that like, yo, she could really affect this man's future career with this nonsense.
And like, she don't understand that. She's just looking at, let me go ahead and play this victim role right quick.
Maybe she does understand that. Man, don't put these,
okay, but you're right. Maybe she does. But if you do understand that, and this is just me thinking logically, I don't care if man, female, in between, whatever.
Listen, man.
Why would you mess up the check?
Before you get to your point, listen, man. I feel like a lot of women out here can be very vindictive. So before you make those statements, you know what I'm saying? Like that ain't nothing new.
And they be short. It's like it's narrow. What is it? Narrow sighted, nearsighted. Like they're not thinking about the long term of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they just want to get back at the man in the moment, and they just like, it's crazy.
But you messing up the check.
They say and or do whatever they want for so for their own personal, at least in my opinion, for their own personal gain. Whether it be child support, like you trying to break away from a woman, they want child support. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you got women out here that are lying in your face and say a baby is yours.
Right.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
That's crazy, man. So that whole thing is that John really makes me sad to see him having to deal with that. Now, I don't know him obviously, and I don't know what kind of person he is and whether any of this has any truth in it, but like this particular situation is so crazy and put him in such a bad light at the height of his career. Like he is in a place where he is at the height of his career right now, and to have something like this.
Out. How long ago did you find out about the false allegations and all that stuff?
I mean,
it's been a few days.
Yeah,
at least been about a week at least.
Ain't no press on it. All that press came out when he was accused, but ain't no press saying that it's being refuted.
Yeah, right. That was small. You're right.
It came across social media, but the only reason it came across social media is because it came across pages like the Shade Room and Boston Black, black social media sites. But you're right, it didn't come out in any type of major press to say, she recanted her story or any of the other stuff that's come out recently. You're right.
Basically, Black Twitter is recirculating it, but that's it.
Right.
You surprised? The text I sent this morning about that whole, you know what I'm saying, hate Jews commercial, like that I ain't gonna say it blew my mind. I'm just so disappointed by, what is considered wrong, and for America as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, Toya, you right. Like, this whole thing with Trump. This whole thing with Trump is big news. You know what I'm saying? I guess he did get arrested.
He was indicted. Technically, he was indicted.
But, did they take a mugshot? I want to see the mugshot.
They said they wasn't taking. They said they wasn't taking no mugshot. They put him in handcuffs. They ain't taking no mugshots. But he was indicted. On these charges against, the way he paid off, not the fact that he paid her off, but it was the way he paid Stormy Daniels off right before.
Can I just tell you? What blows my mind? I think it's hilarious that he insists on calling her a horse face, but everybody and their mama know that he actually did sleep with her. So, like, dude, what does that say about you?
Because people are vindictive. Donnell just proved the point just a minute ago. People are vindictive as hell. When somebody don't want to be with you no more, or they mad or whatever, of course they gonna throw low blows. So he's like, "Yo, I don't want to be with her no more." That horse face ass mug, nah. But he was hitting it.
But you still did it, yo. You did you stoop to that level then? Like, what did you got low standards? Like, what does that say about you? Like, it don't actually speak up for you.
And that's why I don't understand why people, people get divorced or people get mad or people break up. The first thing they do is they go talk about that person. It's like, but you chose to be with that person for like all that point in time. So now you got all this shit to say, but you chose to be with them. So
and that go for women too. How does that look
for your decisions?
That's what I'm talking about. Right? That definitely go for like, okay, so you spent. So you had 4 kids with this dude, and you spent X number of years with him, and now he ain't shit. So what does that say
exactly. Exactly. That means you ain't shit either because your ass chose him and you was with him for 7 kids.
Like you ain't shit by by connection. Like
that's dumb. Like that logically makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah.
He didn't have to go low, but he's Trump. He will always go low.
Right. That nigga, he don't know how to do nothing but go low. I don't understand how people. And you know what? And the crazy thing, and I ain't want to talk about Trump today, but the whole thing is like, if you look at what they talking about in the news, like even on all the stations, especially on the Republican leaning, the conservative leaning stations, they basically are saying that they going do something else.
Oh yeah, they're warning everybody. They're warning everybody. They're like, "Oh, please be safe out there because we're expecting da 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 da." That's basically saying y'all get y'all asses riled up because let's just take over the streets and let's go ahead and let's see how many ignorant more people we can get to act stupid,
including Jason Whitlock. Yo, that dude, Jason Whitlock.
We already know. No, not Jason Whitlock. Whitlock is the black dude where he wear
he's
he wear the hat. He's a commentator.
He's a sports commentator that's basically has been body body snatched by the Republicans, and everything he said
don't nobody like it.
Everything he said was Republican. Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely Herschel Walker.
What Toya say?
Probably with some education though.
No, she went low on her knees. Yeah, she pulled a Monica Lewinsky. She sure did.
Right.
But you see a Mike. That's Jason Whitlock. I don't know if you see.
No, it's not.
No.
All right,
it's real small, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That guy.
Okay.
That guy is Jason Whitlock. But he's
I mean, that dude is he's struggling. His life is he done gave his life over to the devil for real. But beyond that, he also had things to say about the next topic I want to talk about, which is Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm. From LSU.
LSU. Congratulations to Angel and the LSU team on whipping that ass with them Iowa Hawkeyes, whatever they call, okay, and they whipped their ass. They beat them badly, okay, in the championship, and everybody giving her a hard time. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand it because she ain't did nothing but go out there and play basketball. And
but did you know? Before you go, did y'all know Angel Reese and Jordan Hawkins from UConn are cousins, and they actually both from Maryland?
I know, and she went to Maryland. She was at Maryland.
She just transferred from Maryland.
Yeah, but they actually both are from Maryland, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that.
Yeah, she's from Baltimore. Both from all that.
Yeah, she from Baltimore, like Reisterstown. I forget he from like somewhere in Montgomery County.
I bet Maryland. I bet the Maryland coach is like pissed as hell right now. They wasn't giving her no burn when she was on Maryland.
Well, they said because she had got injured. They said because she initially got injured, and then when she got injured, they just, like you said, from that point on, they just kind of benched her. They didn't give her nothing.
There you go.
But anyway, back to your point about the whole Caitlyn and Angel. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Angel. I mean, so Angel, Angel went out there and whipped that ass. You know what I'm saying? She played good basketball, and I didn't realize this is that she set a women's record for double doubles with 34 in the season. Double-doubles. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. And so I felt really excited to see. I didn't really watch the game. You know what I'm saying? I learned everything about it after the fact. But I appreciate because sometimes me and sports, like, we got a love-hate relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you this, John. I did watch the game. I watched the Final Four. I watched all the Final Four joints specifically for the women. In my personal opinion, the women's games was better than the men's games. And I will say this: Caitlyn did her thing when they played South Carolina. When they played South Carolina, I mean, she was like, in my opinion, she was like the white female version of Steph Curry. No matter where she pulled up from, she was hitting it like clean bottom of the net. And so the whole thing was she was disrespectful, or what they consider disrespectful. And I'm gonna say disrespectful because if y'all want to say when Angel did it, disrespectful. So when Caitlyn did it too, disrespectful. At the end of the game, she was like, the whole John Cena, you can't see me, whatever, situation. And so she bust her ass, like she bust South Carolina ass. But when the final, the championship game came around, and she got all that cockiness. Like you said, Angel went out there and bust her ass, and she was like, "Now you can't see me. Let's get that same disrespect that you was giving South Carolina. Let me give it to you."
Right.
Yeah, but see, and this actually goes deeper, whether you realize it or not, because there were comments made about the fact that game before when Iowa beat South Carolina.
Oh, about the whole bar fight thing.
And Dawn Staley had a lot of comments that she made in reference to that. Because they were talking big shit about the team. And that was like, it didn't just start with this whole finals thing. You know what I'm saying? It was going on prior to that.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
They were talking big shit about the team, about her team, about how they was like, hooligans and like, whatever. I don't know what they said, but they were like talking big shit about the South Carolina team. Which, by the way, the fact that their name is the Gamecocks is a whole nother. They just changed that shit. That didn't need to be changed, right? But clearly,
what if you imagine you was a man playing for South Carolina?
Yeah, that shit is. Oh, okay. Quick story. Okay, so I went to England when I was in high school. Okay, on a school trip, and one of my friends was wearing a South Carolina hat the whole trip, and we go to this bar, and we ain't realize that the shit was actually, it had a whole bunch of gay people in the bar, and he has on his hat that just says Cox on it. It says South Carolina Gamecocks hat. And we started noticing like people was like circling around him and dancing around him. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, there's a bunch of dudes. And I looked at his hat. I was like, yo, I think your hat is calling attention. We're in England, you know what I'm saying? They don't know that this is South Carolina Gamecocks hat. It just say Cox on that shit. So I
think what up, Sid? You stupid. Wow. Got to be more careful. What you wearing out the house.
Hold up. I ain't wearing a hat anywhere that just says Cox on it.
So your man was dancing by himself?
I mean, we was
and
like,
a bunch of dudes just started circling around him, and he didn't stop.
Yeah,
they wanted to see the Cox.
Was he of a different persuasion?
No, yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I mean,
John
first
went
off,
to a boarding school. You know, John went to he went to a boarding
school. Let's be honest. Right. Ain't no. I know there's black people that go to South Carolina, but they ain't gonna wear the hat to say Cox on it. They're not gonna, exactly. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna put that one on. They're not gonna wear that one. So, but anyway, man, I feel like there's a whole narrative that went along with this finals for the women.
Oh yeah.
Well, not even just the finals, like leading up to the finals, that then was capped off by First Lady.
So yes, before you get to her, let me yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. So for those who don't know, we do actually have a Man Cave group on Facebook. Y'all ain't part of the group, join the group, because I made a comment in the group that I felt like Iowa was going to win the game based on the commentators' comments during the game. Right. So Iowa was getting their ass whooped, like you said. They was down by like 16, 17, 20, damn near by halftime. And for the most part, they was getting, their tail whooped. So they came back. And that's all they kept talking about the entire second half. If Iowa comes back, this is going to be the biggest, comeback in NCAA history. Oh, they're on their way back. And if Caitlin, Caitlin, they shouldn't have called this timeout, or they shouldn't have called this tech on her. It just seemed like the narrative that they kept trying to build during that game was like, yo, we want these white girls to win. And it was like aggravating. Instead of just saying we want the best team to win, whether they white and or black, I don't care. But it's just like, yo, why do you continue to paint this narrative? And it just seemed irritating to me. So that's why I made the comment when we in the Facebook group for the dudes, because I was like, yo, it just seemed like they wanted the narrative to be, we let these girls come back on these hood rat, whatever girls and so forth. So it was interesting to me.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad the girls of color did their thing.
I mean, it's interesting because maybe college sports is not the same, but I feel like in the NBA, it's mostly black people on most of the teams, right? So
it is. Well, I will say Iowa. We my wife and I was watching the game. We was like, oh, there's a black girl. Well, never mind, she mixed, and it was like, oh, but the coaches, one of the coaches was black, so it was like decent. So at least but no, Iowa, no, I would agree with you normally, John, about most sports, but Iowa's basketball team, nah, bro, it was like one black girl on the team, she was mixed, and one coach that was black.
I mean, you wouldn't. Why would you go there? Why would you go to that school when you can go to any other school?
Money. If they give you you pull that same thing they do to us. When they come to HBCUs, they get money.
Quick, fast, and a hurry. I'm gonna talk about this, okay? As someone who does admissions work, as someone who does this. I have a problem with people who sell themselves for money, because, and I say that, and maybe selling themselves, maybe that's like putting it out there in the wrong way, but I do have a problem with this because I feel like you have to have some level of concern with why people are willing to put that much money behind you.
Because they know what they get. They know what they got. They know your worth. They know what you can bring.
Do they though? Yeah. Or are they doing it because they need the numbers? You gotta be careful.
I think both.
You gotta be careful.
I think both. I think because in the situation in sports, obviously, if I'm going to put money into you as an investment, I know that you're going to put butts in these seats because you're going to either help us win games, or your name, image, likeness is going to be able to sell more tickets and merchandise for us. So yes, I'm going to invest. I'm going to go ahead and give you a full ride because I know you're going to help my team win, which is going to be able to put butts in seats and help us, whatever the case may be, give us. But at the same time, yes, I understand as far as numbers are concerned, yes, people got quotas.
And so why are there not more black people on Iowa's team?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. Say the same thing. They're aware of your worth. It is about the numbers. So it's about the numbers. But that's a question. I don't know. Iowa.
Right. But you're right. You're right, Donnell. It's Iowa, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I remember visiting schools when I was looking at colleges. I did not go to the same college these gentlemen went to. Okay, I didn't go to historic black college. I went to a PWI, and I remember visiting many PWIs that had specific weekends where they brought in students of color. They paid for our flights in.
What?
They brought us into the school. They paid for our flights in. They had specific events that they did for the students of color. It was a whole thing, right? And I remember that those events were all with the hope that they would yield us as students of color. Okay. Now, what I had to figure out is how much of a token was I willing to be in any environment? Was I willing to be a token in an environment in the middle of Ohio where there were no other black people? Where it was that the town had one light that blinked half the time? Or did I want to be at a school that was in a community where I could be around other people of color if I wanted to? And so I chose a school. It was a PWI, but it was in a community that was historically Latino and West Indian. So I knew that when I walked off that campus, I was going to find people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? So I made that decision on my own, because I could have easily gone to Lehigh in the middle of nowhere in the mountains in Pennsylvania. I could have gone to Denison University in nowhere in Granville, Ohio. I could have gone to any of those schools, because that's what I looked at. I looked at small schools, but and they all paid for me to come out and visit those schools. But I made sure to choose a school that was going to benefit me beyond just the money. So
smart. I didn't know that they did that. I mean, I know you're in HR, you do recruiting and stuff like that, but I didn't know that PWIs, like I know black schools specifically, and when they invite you out, I've been with my daughter and been with my sons to to schools at HBCU specifically. When they invite you out, they invite you to homecoming or invite you to a game or whatever it is to show you the atmosphere of student life there. And even it's not a secret that one of my sons goes to a PWI. And when we went up, well, actually, I didn't go to his visit because I was out of town at the funeral. But even when his mom had taken him, they gave me and told me that there was a mixed crowd. It wasn't just a group of black kids or kids of color anyway. That it was a mixed crowd. There were quite a few, whites, Indians, and so forth, and that went there as well. So I didn't know they did that, John. Truth be told.
Some schools do, and I happen to have visited a bunch of them. I flew out to a lot of places. I got flued out to a lot of to a lot of places when I was looking at colleges.
My guess, John, you was highly recruited, but I guess at the end of the, at the end of the day, they saw the potential, and what they do is, they'll say, "Oh, John was a graduate, of this prestigious university, so that you too can be just like him."
Right. That's true.
Oh yeah, they put you in the flyers. They put you in the flyers and the bulletins all the time when they hand them to students.
As soon as your name pop up on the internet, they got a Google search for your ass. Ready?
Yes. I was like, damn.
Algorithm.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I was like, the school that my son went to or goes to, when I saw the flyer for that joint, I was like, yo, this is an HBCU? Because it's a rack of kids of color in this flyer.
No, they're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They know how to play the game, and the reality of it is that schools, and we've kind of moved away from the original topic of like what happened at the basketball game, but it is important to note that when we make decisions on what schools we go to, whether it's University of Maryland or going to LSU or being that one mixed person on the bench at Iowa, we make those decisions with the understanding that we are putting
identify as.
We don't know. Maybe she's not even mixed. She might not be mixed. She could be. She could be Rachel Dolezal kind of.
That's true too. But to Donnell's point, you like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, like he didn't want to acknowledge his black side. So what do they identify as?
Right.
But okay, I think one of y'all was getting ready to say it earlier about y'all's first lady.
Oh yeah, the whole
and the fact that she wants to invite Iowa to
both teams. But you know what? I'm gonna chalk that
winner
up.
And the loser.
I'm gonna chalk that up to her not knowing anything about the sport.
No, she knew. She knew because I saw the video. I saw the freaking video, John. No, this chick knew. The heifer knew. She said, I talked to Joe, and I told Joe that we should invite Iowa out as well. No, she knew because she knew exactly what the hell. This ain't her first rodeo. She been in that damn office during vice presidency and now presidency. That heifer knows.
But wait, Ty. Okay, is this also the issue that exists with this intersectionality? Am I saying it right? Of women, and in this case, being a woman of color for Angela. Well, for Angel.
No, I don't give a damn.
Well, wait. And the reason why I bring that up is because what you have is this whole girl power. With Toya. This whole girl power idea. You know what I'm saying? This whole girl power idea. And maybe Jill, First Lady Biden, is thinking from the perspective of us women got to stick together.
No, I don't give a damn.
No,
we're not doing participation trophies. We are not doing participation trophies in no, you don't. You were NCAA.
That's basically what she's doing.
Are over 20, 21. Right. She giving a participation trophy, and it ain't just because I guarantee you, I will put money. Campus, we can't figure this shit out now, but I guarantee you, I will put money on this. Had Iowa won, she would not have said, "Oh,
thank you.
Let's invite LSU out to the White House along with Iowa." No,
I agree. And you know what? Angel already said she ain't going.
I don't blame her. And what's the other chick name? I forget her name, but she got the little short chick, and she got the little curly braids or curly locks. I like her because she was like, "Yo, Michelle, can we come to y'all's house instead?" She said, "Yo, we want to go to Chicago or wherever the Obamas are living. Can we just go to their house instead?"
I hear you. I hear that.
Yeah, because that's bull. I wouldn't. To me, that's a slap in the face. That's disrespectful.
It is.
That's disrespectful.
It really is.
No, she knows.
There's no other way to put it.
Nope.
Why is it disrespectful?
Because for all these many years, however long, I don't know how long it's been. So I'm not gonna front like I do. But for all these many years that the champions of NCAA championship games in all sports, NFL, pro sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, all these other, black, white, in between, have gone to the White House after they've won the championship. Right. The winners have gone after they won the championship. Now, all of a sudden, because you got heartfelt sympathy for this team, and I don't care if the shoe was on the other foot. I don't care if it was on the foot. If LSU lost, and then you say I want LSU to go, I still would feel the same way. That's not right. How you gonna all of a sudden break tradition of what?
So is it disrespectful, or you don't like the decision?
Both, in my opinion, because it's disrespectful to the winners. You have earned the right.
That's what I was going to say.
As a winner, you have earned the right to follow along in the tradition of all the other winners of all the other sports that have gone on and all the teams that have gone on before you. And now all of a sudden, when it's your turn, you're going to tell me I need to share this with the loser? To me, that
takes away from your shine. It takes away from your shine.
Yeah, to me, that's disrespectful.
That's true. I agree. And this is what I say about that whole thing is that let's not forget, it's important we gotta have both sides of the argument on this. That Caitlin, whatever her name is, said that
Caitlin Clark,
thank you, said that that Angel deserves all of her praise and none of. So she did.
Oh yeah, she stuck up for her.
Right. Eventually. But
she stuck up. Because according to her, because I saw the interview, she did an interview on ESPN, and she said, she hasn't really kept up with her social media since the game because she's been focusing her time on what happened during the week or whatever. And then she got
honestly, if you think about
teammates that are seniors who are leaving, and so she wanted to focus her time on them. So she really hasn't seen anything in social media.
If you think about it, if you just lost, how much time would you spend on social media hearing about your?
Because everybody and their mama gonna be like, everybody and their mama talking about the fact that you either lost or the team who won. Yeah, you don't want to relive that shit.
I might believe her on that piece of it. She might not have been on social media for a while. So, but yeah, so she.
But she did say, "You're right, John." She did say on ESPN, and she was like, she didn't find the move disrespectful. and she didn't believe that the flack that Angel was getting, was warranted.
Right. I mean, clearly it's just another moment in time where I call it the Allen Iverson moment. You know what I'm saying? Like where we do the same thing that everybody else do, but for whatever reason, when we do it, it causes problems. Like it's become an issue. It's an issue.
Always been the case. That's always been the case. So, even if we started in the simple fact and they steal it from us later on down the line, it's it's not an issue because they do it, but because we did it, it was an issue.
Right. So. I mean, with nobody dressing up to go to the game, you know what I'm saying? When Allen Iverson was just wearing his regular clothes, but oh God, it became a whole issue when Allen Iverson was showing up to the game. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, stuff like that. So
yeah.
But,
let's get in these commercials.
Before we go, congratulations to LSU. Congratulations to Angel Reese and all the stuff that she did and the way she changed the game for women's basketball. I'm still not gonna watch the WNBA, but she changed the
game. Yo, they did say though, John. They did say the tickets for the women's Final Four this year actually was worth more than the guys' tickets for the Final Four. That people were more interested in the women's tournament Final Four than they were the guys.
Okay. Did y'all watch the HBCU All-Star game?
Yes, I did. And it was garbage. I did, and it was garbage. I will say that. I did, and it was garbage.
Well, I hate to say, why was it garbage?
Because the place it was an all-star game. So they played a little bit more defense than like NBA and whatnot, and the gameplay was a little bit, but it was sloppy. It was just a sloppy overall game. And I honestly just stopped paying attention to it because I wound up focusing on the women's game, which I will say that too. I think that too is disrespectful that on Monday night they shut down everything, all shows. There are no new episodes of anything because the men's tournament was on. But on Sunday when the girls played, the HBCU All-Star game was on. There was a golf tournament on. There was like several other things that was on the same time the women's championship game was on. And I thought that was disrespectful too, but that's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
It's about money time, money.
Yeah,
the women's championship. I mean, great game. It's just not. It's not the Super Bowl.
It's not. But in my opinion, I think the women's game was better than the men's game. This is my personal opinion. I think the women's game was better than the men's. Actually, the whole Final Four. I think the women's Final Four was better than the men's Final Four. But again, that's my personal opinion.
But it was teams that you expected to be in Final Four versus the men's was like, oh, we know what's going to happen with the team.
Which UConn.
Right. UConn there almost every year. Like
I'm kind of glad. You know what I'm saying? Different. I hate to say it, but I mean, I guess you know what I'm saying. If I would have put together like a you know what I'm saying, who was going to be like my two in the, it would have been South Carolina, LSU, and to me that would have been like black team versus black team. That would have been like a toss up. You know what I mean? Like who I would have wanted to win. So
yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Caitlin was killing it. Caitlin Clark. She the truth.
She still got like
I'm not taking away from that at all.
30-something points.
You think? I mean, they're gonna see each other again in the WNBA, but I'm not gonna watch.
Oh yeah. John, like, let me make it clear. I'm not watching the damn WNBA. I don't care who playing.
I mean, but by the way, I don't watch the NBA until the finals anyway. So,
but they didn't even really. I mean, their positions didn't come in. They weren't. She wasn't guarding Caitlin. You know what I'm saying? So, they're two different positions. You can't really say one bested the other. It was just who had the better game.
Right.
Yeah, true. Overall, true. Yeah. Overall.
Yeah, I mean, if before we go to commercial, I mean, if it was me, like, Dawn should have ran a trap on Caitlin.
Man, I don't care what Dawn would have did with Caitlin because that chick was shooting from everywhere and was hitting it. I mean, you might be right. Had she run a trap on her, maybe it would have shut her down.
But it seemed like every time, she could even triple team Caitlin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you take her out the game, and to me, it's a totally different game.
Her and I forget the chick's name. She
wasn't gonna give you 40. That's my whole point.
No, she wasn't. You're right. Yeah, but Caitlyn, but I just again, Caitlyn's the truth.
Caitlyn was, I can't to me, Caitlyn was running the floor like daggone, not like in terms of shooting wise, she was like Steph, but in terms like she would be on the outlet, she going for the layup like D Wade, like she was amazing on Saturday.
Yeah. You can't take that from her at all. I don't care what happened. You can't take that from her at all.
That was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Friday, because the girls played the championship was Sunday. So Friday, yeah. She did her thing.
It's like
let's go ahead and get into the second commercial so we can get into it. John, what are we talking about tonight?
Talking about bad parenting.
That's subjective.
That is highly subjective.
License to be a parent.
Let's get into this commercial so we can talk about bad parenting.
Hey, it's your girl, Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on retv. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
What up? Welcome back to a live episode of Millionaire M.A.N Cave right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. Yo, I can't stand Mike and Donnell. That's all I'm going to say, is I can't stand Mike and Donnell. And all I'm going to say is, yes, very disrespectful. Disrespectful. The two of y'all are disrespectful. That's all I'm going to say. Yo, don't forget, if y'all are on Facebook, share this with your family, share this with your friends. Y'all are on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel. Hit the bell and hit the subscribe button so that way you're notified each and every time a brand new episode of Millionaire M.A.N Cave comes on. Make sure y'all go ahead and check out the Roku app. Check out the website, as well as if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff that you want to ask. Just be a part of the show. Let us know how you're doing. You can send it in to info@re-tv.net, info@re-tv.net. We got a hell of a topic tonight because John said we're talking about bad parenting. I didn't know that's what we were talking about, but that's what we're talking about. So, John?
I mean, it ain't, I don't know. It's about parents being parents, you know what I'm saying? And how we don't necessarily do the right thing by our kids all the time. Right? Like, gotcha. So I just want to talk a little bit about us as parents, and are we good parents? And I want to start off with this. I want to share this. Let me show this real quick. Can y'all see that?
No, not anymore.
You can't see it no more?
I mean, I can see it,
on
but
the screen,
small.
but it's kind of
What? It's small.
Okay, here we go. Teacher.
Anyway, all right. Well, we ain't gonna harp on it then.
I seen that.
Basically, the idea is that are we doing the right thing by our kids, right? But are we doing too much coddling of our kids? Are we the worst enemies of our kids? Right? Are we doing the right thing by them? Right? And I think about when I was growing up and like how my mother like really left me to fend for myself most of the time. Like it was, I mean, and I guess I'm a millennial kid. There was another video. I couldn't find the video. I wanted to show the video, like being a millennial kid and like the whole idea.
Wait. Pause for a second though.
Yes, nigga, I'm a millennial.
Do you consider yourself a millennial kid?
I'm a millennial.
I'm not Gen X.
I'm not a Gen Z. You, Mike, you a Gen, I don't know what the fuck you are, but I am a millennial.
I'm just old.
I'm a millennial. I was born in 80. Okay, so I'm a millennial.
That's not millennial, dude. It's
okay,
81.
I'm right on the cusp. I'm on the cusp. Okay, I'm on. It was sometimes. Some people say it's 79. Some people say it's 80.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it fluctuate. Yeah. I ain't heard 79 and 80, but I've heard it fluctuate between.
I ain't no millennial.
82 and.
I ain't know that.
Millennials are okay, and the reason why we okay is because we grew up in a time where we heard things like, you know what? Go outside, come back in when the street lights come on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We heard things like, you must think I'm boo-boo the fool. We heard things like, you messing with the wrong one. Right? Like those are the things that our parents said to us. Right?
Okay.
Our kids are not getting that. What they getting is, I gotta make sure that they feel okay about themselves. I gotta make sure that the kids, understand that I might not be their friend, but we're on the same page together.
Nope.
Like
they want to be friends.
They want to be friends, right? My mama was not my friend. Never.
And she made sure she told your ass that I am not one of your little friends out on the street.
Right. Exactly. Right. And so I feel like today, one of the things that I worry about with us as parents is that we have gone too far in the other direction. Of like wanting to be friends with our kids, wanting to like make sure that they are so okay that they are not experiencing life as they should. And so
though? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Ty.
No, I was saying, is that why though? To make sure that they're so okay that we have pretty much blocked out stuff for. I mean, because I think, in my personal opinion, I think there's a variety of reasons that a lot of people, and honestly, I blame more us than I blame them. And I mean us as in our generation of kids, because of the way that we choose to parent. A lot of people, and I know Donnie he confused what I'm saying. And let me clarify. So a lot of people, in my opinion, in our age group, feel like
empty.
What drinking? Oh, he back on the rocks joint again.
Pour me a cup, yeah.
Gotcha. But I feel like a lot of people are in our generation age felt like the way that we were parented, wasn't right. Like, oh, we was beat, so because of this, that, and the third, or our parents didn't talk to us, or they treated us this way, and they made us feel this way, this, that, and the third, that we then in turn go to our kids and be like, oh, I don't want to treat you the same way I was treated as the way my parents treated me. So I'm going to give you the life that I never had. Or in a lot of our cases, in my personal opinion, while yes, a lot of fathers were not in the homes back in the day, and a lot of them are still not in the, in the homes, even to current situation, we guilt parent. So I'm going to make up for whatever that lack of father or that lack of mother not being in the home, will do for you. So I think between those two things, I think that's the reason more so why, John.
So you think we are overcompensating with our kids because of what we didn't get.
What we did or what we didn't get, right? I think what we did or didn't get, because a lot of us got beat with extension cords, racetracks, telephone cords, all of that stuff.
I had a broom broken over my back.
Broom, and a lot of us are quote unquote more woke now, and we're like, yo, that's slave mentality. You ain't supposed to beat your kids like that. Or, that was psychological abuse. You ain't supposed to do this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna be my child's friend, and or even not even necessarily be their friend. We overcompensate and even protecting them from failures that, in my opinion, kids should experience just to become better kids or better people. So yes, I think we as parents overcompensate.
Mike, let's hear it, sir. What do you think?
I don't know about overcompensate, but we do try to differ. Like for instance, our generation, or my generation and before, they were the beat your kids and kids are seen and not heard generation. And I feel like our generation as parents feel like the kids should be heard more, and don't necessarily feel like beating is the necessity for punishment.
Why should kids be heard?
Because they have feelings, and because they need to grow up to be adults who know how to express themselves.
Man, fuck them kids. I'm sorry.
So Mike, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this.
Yes.
Are you telling me that you didn't grow up with feelings?
Yeah, but they didn't matter.
They didn't matter to who?
Right. They didn't matter to who.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I ain't going to say
that. In your mind,
seemed to not matter. Yes.
Right. It didn't seem to not. But so this is where I have my own interesting take on that whole, like, how kids are reared and what we think about, like, our experience as young people. I feel like there's a certain level of understanding that we have to have as young people on what our place is in the community, right? Because there's a community, whether you believe it or not. There's a community, right? It's in your home, it's in your community, it's in your like larger community, it's in your school. All those things are communities, right? And so what we are experiencing now is a miscommunication in the communities, because kids believe that they can run the communities, the environments, the home, the school, all of those things. And so I worry that some of that has to do with, this is my belief, that they believe that some of that, I believe that some of that has to do with the fact that we have allowed them to believe that they are on the same level as us as adults. And and they have not experienced the world the way that we have as adults. So do they have experiences that are important to note? Absolutely. Do they have experiences that are important to be able to point to and say, this is what you're experiencing, this is what that means? Absolutely. But they are not equal. They have not experienced the world the same way that I have in the years that I've been here. Right? When I was 18, I ain't know shit. And to believe that I believe that I did, but you know what kept me grounded? was my mama telling me I ain't no shit. And I ain't your friend. And telling me that I ain't gonna be your friend and your friends are dumb. And if you're gonna listen to your dumbass friend, you know what I'm saying? Like that was an important piece for me to know. My friends was dumb. Like I would have never thought that. They knew what they were talking about for all I knew, but my mama told me. My mama told me, by the way, if you ain't never heard of that podcast, check it out. They ain't no sponsor, but check out My Mama Told Me podcast. Shit is hilarious. My mama told me that they don't know shit. Okay, my friends don't know shit, and I don't know shit, and I'm learning. I gotta learn. Okay, I gotta learn first. And so to believe that to like let kids believe that they know things is like putting them at a disadvantage for their future.
Okay,
but how?
Okay,
so how so? I mean, that's like saying, you know, Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying? When he, you know, skipped the whole record label, he became successful. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of YouTubers that's making millions and didn't even go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is all wisdom ain't for a person.
Good wisdom.
But okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, you know, it being a disrespectful situation, but you know, if a kid came with an idea and this man saying, "Oh, you got to do this to gain this," and you know what I'm saying, the millennials like, you know, don't tell me what to do. This is what I'm going to do. I don't see that as a disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in the 21st century. You know what I'm saying? Like
22nd. I don't know.
Is it
21st?
No, it's 20.
Nah, it's 21st. But now I see what you're saying, Donnell, in that sense, and I think that, in my opinion, there are two different situations, two different scenarios. Like John said, as well as what Mike said. It's not that we don't think that kids don't have opinions, don't know things that we don't know. Obviously, hell, they got that new math that I wouldn't even dare to even try to touch. You know, so it's not that they don't know stuff. That they can't think of ideas or think of ways to do things outside of the normal way in which we would normally do them or try to do them. So yeah, we should listen to them and say, you know what, Dad, or hey, Mom, you know, you should try it this way, or hey, Dad, or hey, Mom, you know, this is what it is, or I have feelings, or whatever the case may be. But in wisdom wise, which has more to do than just, you know, knowledge, it's the experience of life that you don't have because you're 18 and I'm 40 something or I'm 50 something or whatever. I mean, you don't have that same wisdom because the decisions that you are making right now will put you in a place, because I too would have or did make some of those same decisions when I was 18 or when I was 15 or when I was 12 or whatever the case may be, 21, hell, for that matter. I guarantee you the Donnell at 21 is not the same. Yeah, the Donnell at 21, 31 is not the same Donnell at 41, 42, whatever age you are now, and won't be the same Donnell when he's 62, because you would have the wisdom to make better decisions, to do things differently than you would have done back in the day.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. And this is how, you know, we felt like raising our kids. It was, they knew their place. You know, we made sure that they knew that they were kids, that they were not our equals. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure that they understood they had a voice, that their voice could be heard.
That's important.
Right. And so, and I don't think I got that in my coming up.
But what is their voice being heard for? I want to hear what you guys. What
so let me just say this. You know what I'm saying? And I always reference the slave mentality. You know what I'm saying? When slaves got out of pocket, what did the slave owners do? They beat them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Parents. You know what I'm saying? When our kids got out of pocket, what did we do? We beat them. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, what that does is the difference between white people and black people. You know what I'm saying? When white people get in trouble, or you know what I'm saying, they need intervention, they go to therapy. You know what I mean? They know how to handle social and emotional issues. You know what I mean? That's why they're not killing each other. Like, you got a lot of black kids out here who get mad off of, you know what I'm saying, when the Dallas Cowboys lose and want to shoot up the club.
But okay. All right, Donnell. Let me. Okay,
and I'm not overreaching.
I think you are. I don't
think so. I don't think so because back in the day, somebody step on your shoes. You know what I'm saying? They found it disrespectful. They didn't just walk away from it.
Okay, but I think that there is a level of that. I think that there is a level of that exists in social peer pressure. That's peer pressure in a moment of like, because I think what we have, let's be honest, we live in a country and in a society that exists on white people who have not typically been beaten or reprimanded, who are more likely to actually be homicidal, genocidal, who are more likely to go into schools and shoot those schools up. You know what I'm saying? What we deal with in the Black community is a situation where we don't have parents in the home who are in fact putting down rules and regulations, and fathers who are then leading the home. And so people go out into the street, and what they learn is, if you step on my shoes, you are now being disrespectful, so I need to shoot you. That's way different than what is happening in the white community. And for us to take on what is happening in the white community as the reality for what we do has now put us in a place of not putting our kids in a perspective of understanding that they are still learning as young people and growing as young people. And what they end up doing is being like, well, if I'm upset, I'm going to go shoot up the school. If I'm mad, then I'm going to like that. That's the same. It's the same mentality, but in a different location. That's what we're putting our kids in the perspective of doing. Like the fact that Black suicide is on the rise has nothing to do with the fact that you guys, gentlemen here, we grew up in a time when our parents put us in our place. We knew what we knew we were kids. We knew that we didn't have to deal with the realities of being adults as children, right?
Some did.
Some did. And those that did are the ones that were in the streets, right? I have my brother,
in most cases.
You know what I'm saying? My brother, my father, who he grew up with, my brother, my half brother, he grew up with my father. My father was on drugs, right? So he had to be in the streets. So he ended up in jail. He ended up doing things that he did in order to support himself and support his siblings, right? I didn't have that because I had a mother who told me, stay in a child's place, right? And so what I did was I played with fucking Legos. I played with fucking Ninja Turtles. I played with G.I. Joes. And I
was ready to ask too. I was like, wait, I know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but when did they have Teenage Mutant Nigga Turtles?
I said Ninja Turtles. I said Ninja Turtles, okay? So I did all of that when I was growing up, and that was what I did. And I stayed in that place until I had to grow up as an adult. And so that was different than my brother, my half-brother, who grew up in a situation where he had to be the adult. And because he had to be adult, he did things that he shouldn't have had to do that landed him in a place that made his life more difficult later on. So and that is because it's not different. I can't say this enough. Like, we are putting our kids in a situation where they have to grow up because we are allowing them and creating for them environments where they have to make decisions that no kid should have to make.
Okay, so this is where I guess I'm separating it. And I don't know if you were trying to put it all together or not, but the whole thing of having to step up and be the adult as a kid versus having a voice. They're two totally separate things to me. And I feel like you were trying to put them together, like one contradicted the other.
What do they need to have a voice in?
because they are human, because they're people, and they should be respected as people. Even my 11-year-old right now,
and that's where I'm conflicted.
I respect and value her opinion. I may not go with it because you still think like a child, and I would let her know you still have the perspective of a child, and when you get older, you'll learn, and I may have to say no to things, whatever, but you have a voice. You do have an opinion, and you're valued. That's what I think is the difference. She doesn't have to be an adult, but I need to let her know how to separate being an adult from a child.
But and that's the problem. A lot of parents don't teach their kids to separate. A lot of parents don't, and they blur those lines. I was having this conversation with Toya, as a matter of fact, a few weeks ago about kids specifically. Toya just mentioned a second ago how she worked in the school system teaching both black and white kids. I guarantee you now, in most cases, you ask your kids' friends, what do they call you? 9 times out of 10, they're not saying Mr. Bonham. They're not saying Mr. Holmes, Mr. Robertson. They go, "What's up, John? What's up, Donnell? What's up, Mike?" They call you by your first name out of disrespect.
I'm fine with Mr. John, and that's what I grew up with.
Yes, because even just out of respect. And so kids feel like, to John's point, that I'm on the same plane as you, as I may be 15, or I may be 13, I may be 12, or whatever it is as a child, but I'm on the same level as you. I can call you by your first name because we cool like that. No, we're not cool like that. You don't have the same wisdom I have. Right. You don't have as many years on this earth to even be on the same level as me. You don't pay the same bills. But yes, I do understand, and I completely agree with you wholeheartedly, Mike. Yes, kids are people. Kids kids have feelings, all of those things. So yes, we should take those things into account when it comes to their personal feelings and in the decisions they're within. But when it comes to how I run my house or how I do some of the things that I do, no, I'm sorry, your opinion does not matter because you don't pay a bill in this house, or you don't pay, or you don't put a thing of groceries in this house to tell me what you're not going to eat. Or until you decide to buy groceries for yourself or cook for yourself for that matter. And kids have gotten to the point, and again, in my opinion, it's our fault as adults for allowing this to happen. In this particular generation, they feel like I can say whatever it is that I want to say, when I want to say, how I want to say it, even if it doesn't have specifically to do with something that may personally affect me and my feelings. If it's you and your feelings, what you did at school, your friends, or how you may even feel that I may have said something that hurt your feelings as a parent to a child, I can understand it and I can respect that. But there may be a reason why I may have said what I said to you, or even why I said or how I said what I said to you. And just because you got your feelings hurt, tough cookie. Like, get over it. And even to that sense, a lot of our kids have become even soft in that because we can't say certain things to our kids because all of a sudden you've hurt my feelings and this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? Take your ass out on the street, and as soon as you go out on the street, I guarantee you the person who you talk to on the street will hurt your feelings. And who you gonna cry to then?
Right.
So, yes, but they have to learn to process it. And right. So I feel like
if you don't learn that at home, where you gonna learn it at?
Right.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I'm saying.
That at home, right?
That's kind of what I'm saying. So I give them that voice. I give them that, and I help teach them where that voice should be. I help teach them
that's where I
when they get disrespected because they use their voice, how to discern. Oh, you're not taking me for real. I teach them, or we teach them as children, so that when they become teenagers, when they become adults, they can see the bullshit. Not only that, but they can see when somebody is disrespecting them. They can see when they are not valued versus when they are valued.
So let me ask you this, Mike. The way that you were raised, I'm assuming that the way you were raised was similar to the way I was raised, which is children are seen and not heard, which is like, you experienced the world as essentially, I'm gonna say this, but I don't necessarily believe it, a second-class citizen, right? You were a young person, you experienced that world differently, right? Do you think that you missed out on something in the way that you experienced the world and the way that you are living the world now? because of the way that your parents made you experience the world?
I feel like I recognized it and I learned it later than I could have.
And Donnell, what about you? Do you think you experienced the world differently, or because of the way that your parents parented you? Do you think that you are less prepared as an adult because of the way that you experienced the world from your parents?
Honestly, I don't.
Ty.
Okay, hold on. Before you go to Ty.
Okay.
Go ahead. I just want to say this.
Go ahead, Mike.
Just to kind of put context to it. So from 18 to 21, we'll say that range. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. But from 18 to 21 is when I was learning that I had value. Or not even that I had value, but what my value was.
Okay.
From 18 to 21, whereas I could have learned that when I was 15 to, because I think you could process it probably 15 to 18.
Okay.
But doesn't and I'm gonna answer your question, John. Doesn't your value increase as you get older? In my opinion, I mean that's my opinion. I would think your value increases as you get older.
I guess it depends on how you're looking at it, because your value as a human is your value as a human. Period. To me,
agree. But don't you feel like the more experience you have in life, the more valuable you are as a human or as a person? The more experience you have as a husband, the more experience you have as a father, the more experience you have as an employee, the more value you
teach. So do you teach your kids that? So do you teach your kids that experience equals value, or do you teach your kids that?
Because that's what it sounds like you're saying.
No, I do. No, so I do. I teach them a little bit of both. To be honest with you, I teach them a little bit of both, because just like they say, and I like John said, I don't believe this one either per se. If you go to college, then you will be better prepared and are worth more to X, Y, and Z. Your value is now. I don't believe that per se. So I do believe that your experience, whether it's your life experience or your school experience or whatever, yes, makes you more valuable. However, yes, the sky's the limit. Keep aiming, keep shooting towards, keep going further. Don't stop just because you went to school. You're supposed to stop. Your value stops. No, you keep going even past that. Yeah, so I do believe sky. You teach them sky's not the limit. You go past that bitch and keep going. And to answer your question, no, John, I don't feel like my life or whatever is any different. Based on the way that my parents would have taught me. But yeah, to answer your question,
if anything else, my parents has always taught me to be responsible.
Right.
And I think that, what I'm saying, that goes with life decisions, choices, you know what I mean? Like how you carry yourself.
Right.
You can hang with the bad crowd.
Right.
But being responsible, you
got consequences. You got consequences that go along with that. And but okay, so Donnell, with that said, and I think also to what Ty said, the idea of what we deal with as parents, and we are all parents on this podcast, right? The idea is that what we are creating for our children is a reality of there are consequences to everything that we do. Right. And so when we create an experience for our children where they understand consequences for the experience, and that this could be, we could live on the continent where everybody looks like us, there will still be consequences for our actions.
Right.
Okay.
It's important to note that, right? It's important. So it's not about being in America. It's not about the consequences that exist in America. It's the consequences wherever you are, right? There are going to be consequences for your actions. And so every child needs to understand from the time that they are born or the time that they understand to the time that they leave your home, that there are consequences to your actions. And if you are more focused on understanding where they're coming from, then you are not, in fact, focused on teaching them the consequences of their actions. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay.
And so I say that to say that my sons have to understand that there are consequences to every action that they make. From the time that they understand that they made a decision, they have to understand that there's a consequence to the decision that they make. And do I value their opinion? Yes, but they also have to have an informed opinion. And their informed opinion does not come at the age of 5, 7, 8. There's no information that they have. I need them to have an informed decision. You know what I'm saying? 14. They ain't informed about shit. Okay? You get information, then you can present that to me. And then you have an informed decision, and then we can talk about you being more adult. Okay, otherwise, your bullshit is bullshit.
I'm glad you brought up consequences because that's where I want to go, and I know we're wrapping up. The whole thing with consequences is that I teach, or we should teach that consequences are going to come. For every action there's a reaction. For every action there's a consequence. But at the same time, I also teach them that consequences differ from kid consequences to adult consequences, from black consequences to white consequences.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And from men consequences to women consequences.
Absolutely.
So in giving them their voice and giving them that, we're also teaching them that those consequences differ. We're teaching them how to discern. And I think that's kind of what I was saying earlier, and that's what I want to go with, is that we're not leaving them to that discernment when they're 18, when they get out the house. We're teaching them to discern as children and as teenagers. They kind of mold it to themselves. So, through that, giving them a voice, through that, you're heard, but, your I don't want to say your value, like Ty was saying, but, your input has to be weighed based on your experience, and consequences are going to be weighed based on your experiences and who you are. So, and that's how I feel. And like I said, that puts the value still in them. It gives them the value, but it's also teaching them that their self-worth, their value may not be the next man's.
Very true. Very true. I just think personally, I just think we just have to be careful on how we choose to parent our kids, because again, we can be setting them up for failure and not even realize that we're setting up for them for failure by either handicapping them, by taking away their experiences, or putting them in positions where they feel like they can do and or say, or be able to do the things that other people can do and we as Black young men and women can't do and get away with. I think that line too has been crossed somewhere along the lines where we're teaching our kids, or our kids believe because Johnny was able to get away with, or Sarah was able to get away with, or Susie was able to get away with, then I too can get away with saying, I too can get away with expressing myself the way that they do, or whatever the case may do. And I think we just have to be very careful by saying, because I grew up this way and this, that, and the third, we just need to be careful. I just think we just need to be careful all the way around, in my personal opinion.
Just to jump in.
Shut up, Toya.
Just for my children, because my children have a lot of friends of different races and nationalities. We tell them and we make sure that they know that when you go out in that street, you necessarily can't do the same things that they do, because you're going to get different consequences than you're going to get as that person. So we because they are growing up in the multi-racial, ethnic communities that they're growing up in, they have to learn that you're still Black and you're going to be looked at differently when you step outside that door. than that person that you're walking right beside. So, you know, that these are teaching moments. These are things that, and again, it goes back to the value. It goes back to everything that we've been talking about all night. It goes back to just how we try to prepare them for the world.
Agreed.
We are the world. It's like that.
You stupid. Yo, I just realized the time. That's a hell of a conversation because I mean, I really think that conversation needs to be had. Because again, I you know, like John said when he first started it, I think we are doing our kids a disservice to a certain degree. And obviously all of us got different opinions on it. You know, some of us feel, you know, one way, others feel another, and that's cool. That's completely cool. But I personally feel like, you know, we are doing our kids a disservice because we do need to prepare them for real life in the world. And kids, in my opinion, you know, and again, I believe we should take responsibility and ownership for those. But again, that's just my personal opinion. You know,
it's so funny you say that, Ty, because you know, John said he wasn't prepared. You know what I'm saying? I think I said I was prepared. You know, but that doesn't make John any less successful.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, my preparedness was based on the fact that I was raised by a single mother who did the best that she could, and that just created an environment that was one where I had to learn some lessons on my own. There's only so much she can give me, right? That's why there's supposed to be two parents. That's why two parents create a child. Let's be honest. Like, it takes two people to create a child because they need to be two people there having a conversation about every aspect of that.
Yeah, we had that conversation before about, you know, do we feel like a woman can raise a young man and vice versa? If a man, you know, can raise a young woman.
She can do what she can, but she can't do it all. And I know women think y'all can do it all, but y'all can't do it all. Y'all can't.
And on that note, yo, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. This has been another live episode of Millionaire Man Cave right here on Relationship Entertainment Television. Don't forget, y'all, go ahead and subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel if you're not already done so. Make sure you check out all the shows that come on Relationship Entertainment Television. And then, again, tune in next week's season finale, Millionaire Man Cave, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on RETV. Until then, y'all, we are out the door.